I'm getting ready for a Appleseed shoot, and I thought tonight I'd walk through the process of setting up a new 1022 with a scope. That'll be for one of my kids to shoot the Appleseed with, and the 1022 I've worked on previously will be for the other kids. So we're going to start off putting this scope base onto the receiver of the rifle. So we have the clear gun, and we're going to start by removing these little tiny screws on the top of the receiver. A tight-fitting screw that won't wallow out the slot is one of the key aspects of doing this, although these screws are never really going to be used again. The scope base can only go on one way. The instructions say to go to 12 to 15 inch-pounds. They don't mention Loctite, although probably would be a good idea, but I don't have any, so we're just going to tighten them down as is. Starting with getting them all hand tight. And then once they're snugged down, the instructions say to torque them to 12 to 15 inch-pounds. So I've set this wrench at about that. And now that those screws are tight, we need to check for function on the bolt. So there's no binding from the screws. They must not come through, but the directions do say that sometimes they can, so you want to check that before you start messing with scope rings. For this project, we're reusing this old Bushnell fixed 4 power by 30 with a 1-inch tube. And so we selected these Redfield rings as a cost-effective fit. So we're going to try to find the rough setting for these rings. It'll get us close to what we're looking for with the scope. Should probably be fine at those further settings. Yeah, it looks like right about there, so we're going to tighten those down now. Feels about right. Now we're going to use a set of points to see if these rings are pretty close to aligned or if we have a major issue here. At first glance, it looks like they're going to be all right. Relatively close anyway. Points are really very well lined up. I don't know that it's worth lapping, but I'll go ahead and show you that process as well, just so you're familiar with it. We're just going to put a little lapping compound on this device as even as we can around the ring, both pieces. And then we just lightly tighten the rings. So they bed in a little, you can tighten them a little more. Okay, and then once that's done, pull the rings off completely. Careful not to mix the two rings up. Okay, and as you can see, the rear ring is pretty much 100% contact on the bottom, about 50%, 70% on the top. And the front ring is about 70 on the front and 100 on the back, so probably enough contact. I think we'll do just a tiny bit more. One more pass at those. Okay. So we're at like 90% and 100%, and about 100% and 80%, which is plenty of contact to make that a good fit. So it's really important at this point to clean these up and not leave any grip behind. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll start mounting the scope up. All right, so now the rings are all cleaned up. We can go ahead and start mounting the scope. So we'll give it a quick wipe down as well. The rings, now that this is exposed metal, went ahead and oiled them up pretty well as well. I also stake the top ring and the bottom ring together so that those can't get mixed up. So those are now permanently marked with both one hash on the rear and two on the front. We're just going to go ahead and gently tighten this up so we can check for eye relief. Too tight. So now we've got some adjustment on eye relief here. And we will check that off camera. That actually looks really good right there. So we can not mess it up. Never tried this level kit on the 1022, so I have to play with it and see. Yeah, that's not bad. That has the receiver pretty well level. Let's see here. I'm trying to tighten these evenly so there's an even gap on both sides of the ring. That looks pretty close to level. So we will set our torque gauge to about 8 inch-pounds. That gets those set around the block. So I'm just going to check the gun one more time and see if it feels more level, and that should be set and ready to sight in. So as you can see, looks pretty level right there and functional. Overall, we're going to change this stock, so we may end up needing an adjustment on that. We're going to do that before we sight it in, and the drop at the comb is probably too much for my daughter who'll be shooting this, so stay tuned for further episodes. And if you have any feedback on what I did wrong or another way to do this, please feel free to comment in the video, like, and subscribe. Thank you.